We don't want to hear none of that. So y'all hear my Mr. Otis snowing away. Him so cute. Balls up in little ball, snoring, so cozy. Be yapping. And he like being in here. Yeah. Oh, Otis farted. Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to talk about Prince Charles. He's rather sensitive to the trash talking because his son is talking trash about him and he just can't handle it. Charles is like, my goodness, what's wrong with you, child? Why are you talking so bad about me? I'm your father. So British royal family news shows that the hot mess, Prince Harry, that's right, because he is a hot mess, has made by throwing his, well, he's made a hot mess by throwing his royal family under the bus, is a volcanic turning point or talking point. Everyone, it seems, has an opinion about how he and his wife Meghan had gone out of their way with the help of famous friends to tarnish the image of the monarchy and his family members. And you know, to me, this is just kind of like when I grow up, we were always taught, don't you go out and talking about your family to your friends. Like what happens in your house stays in your house. And what makes it so bad about this couple here is that they're not just saying it to some other people that they've seen at a charity ball. Like they're telling it to the whole world with other famous people and their friends, right? So that's what makes what they have done so atrocious, is that the gall. See, if they, I'm just gonna say it. If they had a black mama, like a black monarch, you know how quickly Harry would have been snatched up, in a very loving way, I might add, but he would have been snatched up because grandmas ain't tolerating it. Black grandmas ain't tolerating it. You get out there and you start talking trash about your family, it's time for a smackdown, right? And with the Queen and Charles, like they've never had to experience anything like this before. You know, like Meghan, to be honest with you, she's just thrown a little bit of ghetto into the royal family. She's like, we're going to create some drama. We're going to create some drama up here in this royal family. You know, because that's just how she's made it. That's what she's done. Essentially, ain't nothing but drama since this girl has come into this family. And Charles, he's too sensitive for it. He can't handle it. For him, it's like it's undignified, you know. And the Queen and all of her dignity and everything, they're just not accustomed to it, and it's thrown them out of whack. It's just kind of like throwing everything all crazy and disarray. But you know, this is why, and I'll always say it and I'll say it again, they gotta be snatched up and get a smackdown. Because it's not until you are completely broken, not until you are completely stripped of your own dignity and your own self-worth, that you can rebuild better. Because right now they need to be stripped down and told not to continue doing what they are doing, or there are going to be consequences. And because Charles doesn't know how to deal with it, the Queen certainly wants to continue to remain dignified. You know, they're not accustomed to this. But until this happens, this is going to spiral and get worse and worse. And now we know that they're going to the UK, possibly for the unveiling of the Princess Diana statue. So there is a lot that can continue to happen because they got the gall and the nerve to go to the UK and to create more drama and havoc and uncomfortableness with everybody. You know, and Harry was already talking about how he was all alone and no one spoke to him. And, you know, Meghan, she getting ready to take the gloves off and she getting ready to show up as a special guest, and she going to create more problems. So Charles better grow a pair. He better grow a pair and put this son of his in his place is what he needs to do, because this is just out of control. But this article really is talking about you know, how Prince Charles is really just sensitive. And I think this is part of why the marriage to Princess Diana didn't work out, because he just didn't know how to handle Diana and all her drama and wanting attention. It's just, he was just settled in his ways, a simple life. And then he had, his Camilla, and she's teasing him all in his face, like just saying, come to me. And Charles is like torn, what to do. And he just don't know how to deal with it. So Stuart Pearce was a voice coach for Charles's first wife, the late Princess Diana. So he, like the rest of the world, had heard and seen Harry go to extraordinary lengths to badmouth his father and other family members. He says that most recently he had called him an especially poor example of a parent. Okay, so how has Charles handled his son's unwelcome public tirades? Well, like the rest of the royals, he has taken the high road. I wish there were times when I was growing up, my mama took the high road, but she didn't. She didn't take the high road. She took the low road, gave me a smackdown. Pierce claims that Prince Charles has had particularly a hard time with his roasting, which was captured in a couple of salacious interviews with Oprah Winfrey because of his emotional state. Pierce points out the fact that Charles is immensely sensitive. He told Us Weekly, that Prince Charles is a very, very shy man, a very sensitive and delicate man. But we see his public personality, but in private, he is immensely shy. He claims that when Princess Diana accused him of having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, what he did was to shrink back, and as a result of that became an aloof. Well, that doesn't heal the challenge that's taking place. Yeah. So I can see Prince Charles, when he was confronted with his affair, he's not like blowing up and like, woman, what did I tell you? Like, he ain't get all into her face and trying to, like say you crazy. He's just going to like just revert inwardly and just let what happened on the outside, because he can't do that like emotional drama, like just letting it all out and being very emotional. Charles isn't like that. He's very sensitive. And this is the thing with women especially, when they get on you and start throwing a tirade over something, that's them saying, I'm trying to provoke you. It's like, I'm trying to provoke you. Do something. Come on, do it. What? Say something. And Charles is not doing it. And I can imagine that just drove Diana crazy, because she wasn't getting a reaction out of Charles. And it just probably made her even more mad, more upset rather, because I know mad is crazy, but it made her more angry. So I can see this with Charles now with the same situation with his son Harry, and he's just not able to deal with it. He just can't deal with it. So royal family is saying, well, royal family typically does, they take the high road. That's what they do. Pierce says that Charles has his reaction to Harry's truth bombs, which resembles his response to the crumbling of his marriage, which indicates to him that Charles is reverting to old habits. Is what he did when he was with Diana. He affirmed that when reports came out that Meghan and Harry were troubled by the lapse of contact with Charles, he figured it was true, since that's what Charles does. And this is how we can see the miscommunication in all of this. Charles has one way of dealing with things. Obviously, he's an aloof. He's non-confrontational. He is not going to create a big hoopla. And if Harry and his wife are going to Charles wanting a reaction, to say something, to do something, it could come off as very standoffish and uppity and non-caring. But in reality, it's not that at all. It's simply that he doesn't deal with it head on, and he reverts inwardly. And that can appear to be someone that just doesn't care. So you see how when Harry and his wife go out on television and they complain about how things were done or how people reacted to them, it's because there's just a miscommunication in the culture. And Harry, he don't know because he's just aloof and klug himself, but I can see how culturally this was something that Meghan wasn't used to. She wasn't used to someone responding to her in a way that seemed very uncaring and nonchalant. She expected a reaction. If I'm coming to you and saying something, well, what you gonna do? What? But Charles is just like, he's just chilling. He's chilling. He ain't falling for it, because he just doesn't know how to show those feelings like that. So it's so unfortunate that you've got these miscommunications, this cultural, non-communicative, cultural differences that have clearly shown that things are just not really well received with these two very different types of people and backgrounds and cultures. They just don't communicate in a way that is really addressing the problem head on. One of those things that, you see the problem, but you're not really at the heart of it because it's missed communication is what it all comes down to, missed communications. And they would have you think, this famous, infamous couple would have you think that it's the royals not being caring, concerned, or just, they don't want to be bothered. That is all misconception. Because I remember seeing Charles at the wedding, and when they would be out on outings, and I would always see Charles going up to Meghan, wanting to speak to her, trying to do the small talk, trying to engage, and how he really accommodated Doria during the wedding, trying to make her feel comfortable. I think he's really gone out of his way to do the best that he can with, how he knows to do it. I think it was just conflict of cultures, especially when it came to Meghan and Charles. Harry is essentially just copying what Meghan says, and whatever it is, it's just in poor taste for Harry to even put this on a public stage. Considering this childhood and lifestyle that he's had, it's just really insulting for him to even come out and say anything about his childhood. It's like, really, how dare you? How dare you come out and even talk about your childhood? Like, your worst day in childhood, I probably would have taken as my lifestyle, or the majority of most children growing up, because you just have so much privilege that you walk in so much privilege, you don't even see how what you're saying is insulting to the people that have had to deal with far worse things that were just unimaginable to you, Prince Harry. Unimaginable. Him wanting to complain about how he was brought up in his parenting style is just like, just go say that behind closed doors with your therapist. Like, you ain't got to say that where we can hear you. Like, go back to sleep. Go kick some rocks. Go do something. Because I can guarantee you had a far more good things about it than bad. So just go deal with it.